place manufactures one of the most precision-engineered products in the healthcare sector. Welcome to the Rayner intraocular lens manufacturing facility. Let's go check it out. Now we've stepped inside this modern Ridley Innovation Center, where this is the Rayner corporate headquarters and factory all in one. Now, Sir Harold Ridley invented the intraocular lens in 1949 and worked with Rayner directly on the manufacturing of it. And today, more than 1.6 million lenses are produced every year, with that number only increasing. I'm excited to get a sneak peek of the factory and show it off in a way that's never been quite seen before, so follow me. There he is.
How's it going?
Oh, great to see you.
Yeah, pleasure to meet you too.
Oh, cheers. I'm so excited about this factory visit today. It's been years since I've been in an ophthalmic factory.
Yeah, wicked. Yeah. All right, let's go this way. We have 250 employees working 362 days a year, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And with that comes a craftsmanship. So this is where the optic is cut, first side optic and second side optic. And that's what we do on our lathes here. We then cut the haptics using a milling system, and that's what creates the Rayner IOL. Yeah, so this is our dimensional thickness, so making sure the lens has been cut to the right thickness on our lathes, and we use contactless OCT imaging software to be able to measure that. And this is one entire batch of 90, so this is as big as we get in terms of our batch size. So our yield from start to finish is about 90%. For our dimensional reject rate, we're about 0.5%. Once we get production through from next door, from the lathe room, they come into here. We go through a quality check to make sure the reconciliation line clearance is done correctly. And then what we do is we polish all our lenses. This process here, we tumble polish every batch. And you can see we've got these barrels here. And we polish in a super saturated saline for 24 hours. We then remove the lenses from using our piece of kit over there. And they go into these individually marked trays, which you can see over here. And then they're put into our hydration baths, the Iomo baths behind you. And then they'll sit in there for another 24 hours on a constant trickle feed. From the pure water plant, and this is when you hydrate them. This is when they become soft, etc. Across here, we've got a bank of Nemo systems, and here what we're doing is inspecting every single lens for the power and the MTF, or the modular transfer function of every lens. And then from there is the final step in the dirty area, is when we're moving to the clean rooms. On here, they create the sub-assembly for our Ray 1 injector. So they'll, at the back of the room there, you can see, waiting to go through into our clean rooms, ready for loading and sealing of fully inspected lenses.
So is the creation of the injector itself, how complicated is that compared to the actual creation of the IOLs?
So the molding is incredibly difficult. Because of such a small incision, such a small nozzle, the mechanics of it are very, very difficult. Hence why we don't do it ourselves, and we have really, really good molding companies to do that for us. But the inspection of all of it is to make sure that everything meets our high quality standards. So this is our cosmetic inspection area. So this is cleanest area. This area is where we will reject any cosmetic failures. So what will happen is each lens is manually inspected by a human, very similar to our injector assembly, and they will make a decision based on the defects on the lens, whether it's a pass or a fail. And this is the last time it's seen by a human before it goes into an eye. So it's a super important area. So we now have a fully inspected lens loaded into the Ray 1 injector system and sealed in its inner tray. Here we'll apply labels into the inner tray to make sure full traceability. And we also seal in an outer tray. That's then placed in the frames in the middle there. So you can see we've got some stainless frames. Ready for autoclaving. So we use steam, heat, and pressure to sterilize all our products. And at this point, there is a freeze on everything. So what happens is one lens from every single batch is inspected in our QA lab down there. And it goes through all the same checks that we've just done, including mechanical testing for injectors to make sure it's injecting correctly. And we cannot pack that lens until it's past that stage. We can't pack that batch until it's past that stage. So at that point, we move it electronically as well as physically into the packing queue. We then create pack sheets, which sounds relatively easy, but we ship all over the world. So everyone's got different specifications, etc. So
I'm curious about this process because it's so much more detailed and human intensive than I imagined. Do you think most companies have to run like this, or are there extra steps that you guys are really going to care for these lenses?
It's our quality checks that define us from our competitors. You know, we don't use AQL on our lenses. We don't use huge batch quantities to be able to do that. We create batches of 90 at most, and each one of those batches is 100% inspected at every single stage. There's no, this lens gets missed, it's 1 in 2 lenses, it's every single lens. So every single lens that comes out of this factory has been through every single one of those checks.
Now, when it comes to intraocular lenses, I guess you're able to track them and trace them in case any issues come up. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yeah. So we have a paper-based system, our process record card, but we also have an electronic system. So every single operation that we do in our manufacturing process is not just signed for, dated, and timed by the technician, but we also have an electronic system at the same time that's updated using our own unique passwords and coding. So we have traceability of every single lens, every thickness measurement, every power measurement, and every cosmetic inspection reject that's ever happened on that batch since Sightline started.
Do you happen to also incorporate surgeon feedback into IOLs?
Yeah, so we have a platform called RayPro. So all the information, so we ask for patient feedback and surgeon feedback into the system. It collates all the data so we can then look at all of this to be able to improve our processes. And a really good example of that is our toric markings on our trifocal lenses. And we had some feedback from surgeons that they found it a little difficult. So we invested over £500,000 in a laser marking system, which now are absolutely crystal clear, beautiful toric markings on all our trifocal lenses. So it's a constant feedback.
Thank you so much for the tour. We learned so much about manufacturing, from the haptics to the IOLs to the injectors to polishing. So it's been a pleasure, mate.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Here at the conclusion of our factory tour, and I gotta say, Made in Britain has taken on new meaning for me. You know, the way that the IOLs are so precisely manufactured and cared for, it was really stunning. And although that happens in other parts of the world, here in Britain, it's something special. So I won't be forgetting my Rayner factory tour anytime soon. Glad you joined us here, and right now I'm gonna go get some fish and chips, so I'll see you later. Cheers, guys.